Hi there, I'm Rachel Gable at the Fence Post magazine, and this is your fair cattle markets update for the 2nd of September. I started talking through the USCA's comments that were submitted to the USDA with regard to where the $500 million of grant money ought to be spent to increase processing space. And I wanted to continue with that today. When the USDA asks for comments, they often they want specific. It's like a short answer quiz, right? Remember those? And you have to use complete sentences and all that jazz. So they ask several different things, and your answer has to be tailored to that. You're not just going willy-nilly. So in the USDA asked for input about the fair treatment of farmers and workers and ownership considerations in the awarding of this grant money, asking what conditions ought to be placed on federally funded projects to ensure fair and equitable outcomes. And equitable, of course, is something that we hear a lot these days from this Biden administration. And so what the USCA said is that the USDA should identify and remove any current meat subsidy programs that benefit foreign-owned entities. Source materials used to construct or expand a facility should support domestic production. Per President Biden's executive order on ensuring the future is made in all of America by all of America's workers, it is current policy that the U.S. government should, whenever possible, procure goods, products, materials, and services from sources that will help American business compete in strategic industries that help America's workers thrive. In the next question from the USDA is, should the USDA have the ability to block the sale of processing facilities built or invested in through federal funds to large or foreign-owned corporations? What other options should USDA consider in order to prevent new, expanded, or successful facilities from being required by the large corporations whose consolidated operations can suffer from bottlenecks and create significant supply chain vulnerabilities? Can you imagine if we built these facilities and then they were turned around and sold to one of the big four? The USDA said that wherever federal funding is used to build or expand processing facilities, there should be restrictions in place to prevent the sale of that facility to foreign-owned corporations. The Institute for Ag and Trade Policy said the growth of Brazilian meatpacking businesses has benefited from subsidized loans and other resources from the Brazilian National Development Bank, which of course we know because the Batista brothers are just freshly out of jail from that whole thing. Ownership investment of a U.S.-based meatpacking company by a foreign corporation threatens national security interests by unnecessarily risking the safety of our nation's food supply. As far as loans and other financing considerations, USCA said currently the only financial access available is to individuals or corporations that possess cash on hand. So borrowers need to have $1.30 in cash for every dollar borrowed. This narrows the pathway to obtaining capital access to hedge or venture funds. However, those fund managers want to see from borrowers an exit strategy within the next 3 to 5 years should the investment no longer serve the investor. There is no funding mechanism currently in place that serves long-term infrastructure-driven investments. So because of this, a facility built today will often see up to 3 bankruptcies before becoming financially viable. The last thing I'll cover today, so I don't get too long, is the grant considerations. And surveys to date have shown that updating existing facilities will cost an average of $750,000. However, this number assumes significant investment by the city or town to update municipal water, power, and sewer systems. USDA should provide capital infrastructure improvement grants to communities for water, sewage systems to support the development of independent slaughter and processing facilities, And grant funds are needed to recruit new participants to the industry. These funds should be made available to nonprofit organizations and higher education institutions with a focus in the livestock industry. These organizations often employ communications professionals that can help develop and deploy marketing materials. And of course, a skilled workforce is critical to the success of the meat processing sector. There is no better time than now to advertise careers in butchery as millennials and Gen Z increasingly look for more diverse job opportunities. And to that, I say, amen. Nailed it. I'm Rachel Gable. This is your Fair Cattle Markets Update for the 2nd of September.